Does SEO really work, and how does it impact your business? Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now, just like I said, how does SEO work? I mean, there is a lot of mystification around it. Is it real? Is it voodoo? Does the magical, mythical Google actually send you any traffic? Well, in today's video, I want to debunk all of that right now. So I've pulled up a bunch of different websites. I've pulled up my own website. I've pulled up my agency website. I've also pulled up the search console for several different websites. I will be blocking out as much information as possible for those companies, just so their information isn't necessarily on the internet. I don't particularly care about my agency or myself. I'm happy to share that with you guys and what we're currently ranking for. But my goal is to demystify whether or not SEO actually works. Can it impact your business? How long does it take to impact your business? So right off the bat, I think the first thing that you need to understand is SEO is a long-term play. Most people don't really understand that. When I say long-term play, I'm not talking about 1 month, 6 months. At 6 months, 3 to 6 months, 3 to 9 months, you'll actually start to see results from it if you are actively doing it or you hire an agency. But realistically, you're talking about 2 years. Now, you might be thinking, well, that seems kind of ridiculous or a really long time. Trust me, 2 years flies by. Just a year and change ago, we had the beginning of COVID. Okay, that year, at least in my opinion, flew by. Flew by. So just take that into consideration. I mean, time goes so fast. And for literally an hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week, I understand that it's going to be a little bit of an impact to you and your business, and it's a little more work that you have to do. But trust me, it is worth it. And I'm going to show you exactly why it is worth it. But realistically, you're really looking at like a 2-year payoff time. Now, on average, a new article takes about 34 to 35 weeks to hit its peak, but that's just because that's the average doesn't mean that's not necessarily true. I've written articles over a year ago now that have still yet to even really be seen by Google, and hence, because of that, my articles keep coming up and new articles keep populating, and over time, you win on Google. That's really the core, the base of it. I cannot stress it enough because too many people think like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, work really, really hard for 2 weeks, and I'm going to be ripped. Nope. You have to go consistently, week after week, year after year, and the results they are beautiful. Now, I'm going to be covering Google search and I'm going to be covering YouTube because I think YouTube is something really important that me personally, I don't particularly like writing. Every once in a while, I do really enjoy writing, but for the most part, I'd much rather make a video. Hence why I'm doing 120 YouTube videos in 120 days and not 120 blog articles in 120 days. So let's jump into my computer here, and I think that this is really going to help demystify. Now, this is my personal website, harrisonbarron.com. I have a blog, my YouTube link, right? I have a store now, so shout out to my store if you guys want to go check it out. LinkedIn, Kajabi, I'm coming up with a Wix masterclass, and I'm going to be launching a podcast masterclass as well. But the real thing I want to focus on is the blog area. Now, this is the blog area to Kajabi. Now, I don't particularly love it. It doesn't really kill it for me, but I do enjoy the blog area on here. And I just say that because I love Kajabi, but I think that some of what they do could be a little bit better and more well built. But other than that, I mean, I have a lot of blogs on here. Specifically, I have 242 blogs that are published and one blog that is currently not published, and I want to show you guys this. This is legitimately, yes, how many blogs I have on my website. Now, I understand that most people aren't going to have that many, but if you really think about it, if you write one per week for the next 2 years, that's 100 articles. I mean, that's 52 hours. Now, no, don't get me wrong. If you spend an hour, that's pretty conservative. You're probably looking at about 2 hours, but trust me, it is so worth it. So let me close out some of these here, and let's look at my Google Search Console. And this is the back end. This is the home of Google, where I think that you're going to find the most benefit to. So on here, you'll see 386 pages, right? So that's all the pages. That's landing pages. That's really every page that I've ever created on Kajabi. I do need to go clean up my personal Kajabi account, but that's besides the point. But in here, you'll see a couple really interesting things. So this is your performance. This is exactly what Google's showing you out for. So I have 1,300 clicks and 106,000 impressions, which is great. And it really has been kind of stagnant. I know that Google's been rolling out a new update, which honestly stinks. It's been pretty flatlined for the most part for a little while. I'm gonna give it a little bit longer. I may jump ship on Kajabi and move over to Webflow just because I enjoy the platform a little more. It gives me a little more flexibility. But other than that, I mean, it looks okay right now, and you're probably like, well, that's kind of stagnant. But here's the crazy part: if I pull it out to a year, I mean, that's pretty exponential growth, and that seems to keep growing and growing and growing. Now, this was a fluke, and this was a massive spike. Typically, when I see these massive spikes, that usually means that there's another series of growth happening. This is just what I've seen on not only my own website, but I've seen this on other people's websites that we manage here at my agency. But you'll see there was a nice little spike here, and then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, right? If we look at this was August 11th, and almost a month later, it really started to say, "Hey, we're gonna start moving you in the right direction." So who knows? It's definitely a little bit strange, and even here, it kind of flatlined for almost, I don't want to say a month, but a half a month. And then all of a sudden we had a massive spike. And these massive spikes seem to be an indicator of normal growth. And I just want to show you guys that, like, this is what I'm currently ranking for. So pros and cons of Alignable, obviously my name, which I'd hope for because it is my website. And if you guys didn't see, there's currently 1,000 keywords that I'm ranking for. Now, I'm ranking for more keywords. It just shows you the top 1,000. I think that if it got any more, it'd probably be pretty excessive. And you can always export a full report, which I do recommend doing because after 16 months, this completely goes away. So now I've had my website longer than a year. I've had it for over 16 months now. And the reason why I only showed you guys a year is because at April of last year, I had a massive issue on my Kajabi website. So I really only consider my website just about a year old because there was a massive flaw and Google basically wasn't indexing it. If I pull it out to 16 months, I should have been out of what's called the Google sandbox. So when you first build a website, Google is afraid of your website. They don't know who you are. They don't trust you, right? So for about 3 to 9 months, they usually put you in this like holding tank, and they don't give you any traffic whatsoever. It is the most disheartening thing in the world because you might have the most beautiful website, you might have put so much time, energy, and effort into it, and Google's not giving you a lick of traffic, and that's normal. What I do recommend to people is if you're thinking about launching a business, build a basic website, spend the $20 or $15 or up to $2 per month, and just let it sit there. Build a super basic and just let it sit on Google, fill it with some decent content, and don't even tell anybody about it. Let it sit there for a year. This is going to age it like a fine wine. So when you do start to do SEO, the results will come significantly faster because Google knows that you're a legit website. Even though you might not be, a full-blown website, Google just knows, hey, you've been around for a while. We could probably trust you. But once again, if you look at the year, right, this is pretty cool. This is over the last year, and it just keeps growing. I mean, it's great. I'm really happy. I was hoping this would stay up a little higher, but it jumped back down. But 162,000 impressions, 2,031 clicks, or I don't even know what number that is. Yeah, 2,310 clicks, and that's a great number of traffic. If you really think about it, if I was to spend money on these ads, you're talking about $5,000 to $7,000 on clicks. For what? Is that for a sale? I don't know. And then if I pull out these keywords here, let's just go to the top 100. You'll actually start to see what I'm ranking for in the top 100 for this period of time. And now I'm going to bring in these numbers here just so you can see it down here. These charts get a little crazy. I always tell people, don't worry about your average position. This is your average position over all of your pages. So it's always going to be low unless you have every page perfectly dialed in. Your average click-through rate should be pretty, I don't want to say pretty high, but depending on how many pages you have once again and where they're visiting, should be a bit higher. Now mine isn't that high because I do need to go clean it up, and there's also a lot of blogs that still aren't ranking. But you'll see in here, pros and cons of Alignable, my name, LinkedIn messages, are they private, or posting inappropriate things on social media, realistic website traffic growth, right? I'm actually pretty happy that that's starting to move in the right direction. And if you want to see any of these Transistor podcast review, I'm starting to get some clicks to Anchor pros and cons. I do a lot in the podcasting world. Transistor podcast hosting review. I mean, there's a lot of information. Good podcast interview questions. I mean, what is Alignable? I mean, this is an alarming number because it's 2,000 impressions with one click. So I don't know where I stand. I'd have to go do a little bit more homework. But you could could see that there has been an exponential number of impressions going on over this period of time. And then also the clicks. If you look at the clicks, I mean, it was getting, 3 clicks per day, no clicks sometimes, 1 click per day, which is pretty common on a new website. But now I'm getting between 20, what's the low number here? 7 and a high of almost 30 clicks per day. I mean, that's a pretty astounding amount of clicks. So this is a program I've used, AfterClick. I do like it. It just gives you a better breakdown, in my opinion, than Google Analytics here. And this is all of your traffic. This isn't Google traffic. So keep that in mind. Our LinkedIn something, it'll actually show you if you click on it, but can I post inappropriate things? Anchor FM podcast review, LinkedIn versus Alignable, our podcasts live or recorded. Kajabi SEO is a new page. Wow, I can't believe I've gotten 66 clicks on that. That's awesome. The list just keeps going. Now, it also tells you who the referring domain is, which is pretty interesting. So this is the last month, right? So in the last month, I've gotten 1,300 clicks. And I can't pull it out any further because I just put it on not that long ago. Let's see what it says all time. Yeah, I put it on in January here. But it'll actually show you where your traffic's coming from. So Google, Webflow, WPE Pro, Facebook, YouTube, right? I obviously mentioned my channel, and it's always in the links below. Bing, Barron Media Group, right? My old agency, and my meetings link. Countries where the traffic's coming from here. You also have the operating system, devices, browsers. Now, this program is definitely not complete. It's still in the new phases. I was an early adopter of it, but there are some interesting things. I mean, it'll give you realistic traffic here. So I'm on my website now, but I've been on my website now for 20 minutes, so it just registers as an inactive user. But I mean, it gives you a decent amount of traffic. I really can't complain, right? And here's your United States, Windows, Trinidad, Tobago. I mean, I don't know where all these people are, but I do know that I post a lot in Facebook groups. So who knows? This is where people could be coming from. Tells you where they're visiting from and the device that they're using, operating system, 48 sessions, right? That's probably me visiting my website as I do work on it. Now, I do have a heat map on here for my agency. It's still in the process of being worked on, but overall, it's going to give you some information here. And I have to swap it back to my personal website here. But I mean, this is really good information. So as you can see, it's been growing pretty steadily. Now, I don't run any ads towards my personal website, which is huge. I think that most people, they have skewed data because they run ads. I do not run any ads. I've ran ads to a video, but I really haven't ran any ads to anything otherwise. And if you look over the last 180 days, I mean, the growth has been pretty tremendous over the course of my website, right? So you'll see I was getting 90, 80 clicks, right? And then now it just keeps getting higher and higher, 225 clicks over the course of a week here. And it just keeps growing. So is that an indicator of SEO? Probably. You'll see in here impressions, source, right? Referrals, Facebook, Pinterest, InfoStack. I was doing a little bit of Pinterest to drive some auxiliary clicks here. But for the most part, I mean, Google is the overwhelming majority of the traffic that's coming in. If you do the last 180 days here, you can see, or we'll do last 90, you can see where people are visiting. Can I post inappropriate stuff on social media? Anchor FM, LinkedIn versus Alignable. Now, this is really important because if you're getting a lot of traffic to these areas, you can definitely make a lead magnet here. And I don't want to go too in-depth on here, but I think that this gives you a really good overview of how traffic's coming in. Now, I would be selfish if I didn't include my YouTube account, so I'm going to just throw that in here because this I would definitely classify as part of SEO, search engine optimization, because I'm linking back to my personal website. So let's just pull this out to the last, let's go last 90 days. And actually, let's do the last 365. Although it's going to be slightly skewed here because I did have a video go. I ran a decent ad to this one specific video. Can I do custom here? And let me just do the last 11 months here. This should give us a better idea. So you'll see, now this isn't that same video. This is one that just happened to naturally explode into the algorithm. But over the last 11 months, I've gotten 11,000 views, right? My watch time has exponentially grown. I mean, from getting 1.3, maybe 1 hour per day. Now I'm averaging, some days as high as what? This is 7 hours a day to 3, almost 4 hours per day. So it really ranges, but it's been growing pretty aggressively. And I've talked about this in the past too, where SEO it's a long-term play. And this is crazy because at a day 144 is when this really started to take a turn for the better. And it just keeps getting more and more views, more and more watch time, and it just keeps adding to the overall amount on my channel, which is huge because this video is 372 days old, over a year old. So all the videos that I'm making over this 120-day challenge will consistently help me get traffic and clicks back to my website. Now, the other things I do want to share with you guys is my agency. So this is obviously my agency website. It's pretty simple, nothing crazy. We do have an extremely active blog on here, and I want to show you guys what the back end looks like. So we specialize in DaaS, HaaS, SaaS, ITs, MSP companies, cybersecurity and security agencies here. And this is kind of where it gets pretty interesting. So once again, we kind of really launched the website. We had a major issue on Webflow. I was still learning Webflow, totally my fault. It was a new experimental program for us. And if I pull it out to a year, because we haven't had it for quite a year yet, and you'll see that, you know, I mean, this is growth. We've started adding content. We fixed it. We fixed the SEO issue in December. And I mean, it just keeps growing and growing with new all-time highs every single day. Now, is it going to continue to climb like that forever? Probably not. I think it would be foolish to think that. But I mean, if you look at the clicks also follow in line, right? You know, we had our highest day of 4 clicks in one day, and this will progressively grow over time, right? I think a lot of people, once again, they think that, hey, just because I do a lot, I'm going to see results. It's the long-term play with SEO. Same thing here. I'll pull this up. I mean, this is our data as far as growth generators. Over the last month, we've had 313 page views, sessions. We've started to get a few leads here and there from it. Is it a tremendous amount of leads? No, I'd be lying if I said that. But for the most part, it's a decent amount of leads for 313 page views. Blog, right? Web design, inbound marketing, right? These are really good areas. Now, which one am I getting the most impressions and leads from? I need to go figure that out. But you can see all the pages that you're starting to get traffic to. And this is just one of the products I really like, AfterClick. And I mean, it gives you a full breakdown on where people are going. Oh, let's swap my website here. Let me pull this up. And let me go pages one more time. Sorry about that. All right, cool. So homepage, blog, web design, inbound marketing, SEO, and it's just going to give you where people are going on your website. And the cool part is a lot of these have at least one click. Now, I don't think that this is every single page of my website, but for the most part, that's a lot of clicks over the course of this January to May now. So since the beginning of the year, that's a decent amount of clicks visiting our website. So that could be email blasts, that could be videos that we make on our agency channel. There's a whole slew of information that goes into here. Once again, we'll take a look at the analytics. Let's bump this out to 90 days here. And actually, let's do 180 here. So this is not going to be the best chart because, once again, we had a major issue in December where we really weren't getting as much traffic as we hoped to because, once again, totally my fault. I made a mistake with Webflow. Still learning Webflow. We now have a Webflow designer, so he helped us clean everything up, and now we're starting to kill it. But you'll see. I mean, is it going up exponentially? It's still a newer website. It's still in that sandbox. Google's trying to figure out where it belongs. It's just breaking out. It really hasn't quite hit all the marks that we really want it to. And the interesting part is we can actually see this. So if I pull out my pages, right, and I know we have about 80 blogs on this website, so it's only showing 71. So that means 71 pages are really ranking, and it'll show us where they're ranking. So what text broker versus pro blogger, inbound marketing, what is Clubhouse, and can it grow your business, cloud computing, right? SEO checklist. I mean, lead generation, the best tools for quality leads and boost sales. I mean, we have a lot of pages that are starting to hit the algorithm here, but not all of them. That's the thing that you have to take into consideration. A lot of these are sitting on, I mean, if you look at the average page, let me just pull this out to 3 months here. This will probably give us a more clearer picture. But if you look, you'll see the position on here, which is, 101. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to get any clicks sitting at a position 101, but now we're on the first page of Google for inbound marketing, and it's actually going to show us what we're ranking for. So inbound marketing, growth services, direct marketing, and it's going to show us, okay, where are we at? So this is page 66. This is not page 66. This is page 6, page 2.6, not page 2.6, position 2.6. Sorry, guys. talking here. But I mean, it just takes time. Once again, it's not a fast race to run with on here, and you'll be able to see this. And this is going to grow and grow and grow over time. And just like you see here, this will continuously improve. And following that will be the clicks, right? If I can get every page to have 1,000 impressions per month, right, at a 1% click-through rate, you know, that's a lot of clicks coming through. That's not just one page getting 1,000. That's 85 and continuously growing pages getting 1,000 impressions per month. That's a lot of clicks that you're going to eventually develop. But once again, it's a newer website. So I just pulled up here. This is our analytics. I mean, I'm not mad about it for what it is and how much work we've put into it. It's definitely growing quick. I'm happy with it, especially after our SEO fix in December, which is things that a lot of people mess up on. Now, this is another website that I'm a partner in, so I can show this. So this is Bottle and Ash. This is a website that we're working on, and I don't really want you guys. I mean, you guys can go visit it, but we're in the process of redoing it right now. But you'll see it's starting to rank for 264 words, and you guys can't actually see that, but it's starting to rank for 264 words. And if I pull this out to 100 here, it will actually show. Can I move this up a little bit so you guys can see? So there it is. So 264 words that it's ranking for. And you'll actually see all of these words that it's ranking for here. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, cigar won't stay lit. Is cigar ash good for plants? Right. And if I pull this out for even 3 months, you can start to see hey, it's growing, right? The clicks are starting to grow, right? The last time we had a day of no clicks was April. So we've been already over a month of every single day at least getting 1 click. If I pull this out to 12 months now, because it's been around a year, I mean, you'll see it's pretty exponential growth. And once again, growing and growing and growing. And the clicks follow. If I remove this, you can see that the clicks absolutely follow in line. I mean, that is the best part. Now, on the next two, I'm going to have to block out a lot of information here. I apologize, guys, just because it is customer information and it is a little more data sensitive here. But I do want to show you guys just some other websites that we've worked on. So if I go to search results here, you'll see, hey, I mean, if we look at this, let's go to 12 months again. I mean, it's pretty exponential. He hired us. He hired my agency right around November-ish. And, I mean, this is continuously growing. We got him on the Discover page here. The clicks follow. The clicks follow. For this one particular customer, I can definitely say that we've made him probably 50x what he's paid us already, and that number just continuously grows and continuously grows. So is he ever going to fire us? Probably not, because even though that this kind of looks like it's leveled out a little bit, which it absolutely has, right? This is going to grow and grow and grow as we put more and more content on this website, as we continuously do better and better SEO. And once again, here's another website in here. If I do performance, you'll see once again that this is another website that if we look at the last 12 months, you can really start to see the growth as far as traffic. Now, over here, he's definitely gotten impacted a little bit from Google, but for the most part, the clicks follow once again over this entire course of us running the SEO for it. So over here, we have to figure out what's going on unless somebody went in there. I know that this particular customer brought in an agency to do some work for them, so I hope that they didn't negatively impact it. But other than that, I mean, this is a tremendous amount of growth over the last year, and this is what we do here. So I hope this video helps. I hope this demystifies, does SEO work? I would say absolutely it does. It just takes time. This is not a fast process. This is not something that you could do today and you're going to see results tomorrow. It is something that you'll have to do over and over and over again for years and years and years to come, and that is when you'll start to see true growth on your website. So I hope this clarifies some things. I hope this helps you guys. I hope that this makes a better decision for you. I encourage you guys to go make some content, and even if you're not a writer, go make YouTube videos. YouTube is a great way to drive traffic back. Now, how much traffic are you going to get back? It varies. It varies, right? I mean, I'm 200 and something videos in now, and I've gotten 13 clicks over the last month. So, but that's okay. I'm not here to do it for the clicks, but I am here to provide value. So I hope that's what I did. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions or anything like that. But other than that, subscribe, like, share this out. I really appreciate that if you do. Some of you guys have started doing that. Love you guys. And that's it. Bye.